How the fuck are you supposed to survive in Australia making only $30 an hour?
Yeah, this comment is absolutely right. Australia is bloody cooked. And then you've got the government saying productivity is down.
If you're a woman in Australia, the odds are that yesterday you stopped getting paid for the rest of the year.
$30 an hour in Australia is a fucking joke.
Like, isn't it insane, bro? I think the system here is kind of like broken, bro.
You know, the minimum wage in Australia should actually be $76 today.
First, it's a 3.75% increase in dark blue on the chart. And while it's only just above inflation, in light blue, it has been below it in previous years.
Great news. Wage theft is officially becoming a criminal offence.
No, it's not easy to move to Australia.
What's the first word you think of when you hear pay rise?
Australia is often painted as one of the most prosperous countries in the world. Sun, beaches, opportunities, and a strong economy. But behind that image, something else is happening. More and more Australians are working full-time, yet still struggling to afford basic life. Before we get deep into this, a quick reminder. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Your one click genuinely motivates us to keep researching, writing, editing, and bringing awareness to issues that actually matter. So please subscribe. It really supports the channel. Now let's talk about the reality of low wages and underpaid jobs in Australia.
How the fuck are you supposed to survive in Australia making only $30 an hour? Like, if you haven't noticed, the cost of living nowadays is completely cooked. Like, fucking grocery prices nowadays, bro. I'm spending like $200 to $250 every fucking week on myself. Spending like $300 a week on rent. And because the fuel prices are cooked, man, I'm spending like $100 to $150 every week too. After bills and just all my expenses for the week, I would always be left with like $100 to my name after a full week of work. Now, I could have either saved that money or went out for the weekend and actually enjoyed myself. But, you know, I want to try and get ahead and save for a house for the future, but that's only going to take me fucking, 20 years to save for a 10% deposit. It's just not fucking worth it. Australia's economy is cooked and no one gets paid enough to live nowadays. Seems to me the only way you get ahead nowadays is if you do more overtime or you pick up a second job.
This is what the national minimum wage in Australia will be from July the 1st. It's a 3.75% increase in dark blue on the chart. And while it's only just above inflation, in light blue, it has been below it in previous years. The Fair Work Commission says it can't go any higher because labour productivity hasn't improved in 4 years, and we're all set to benefit from a number of things like tax cuts, a rise in the superannuation guarantee which employers must pay into your super fund, along with various cost of living budget measures like energy bill relief, all starting from July the 1st. It also believes this increase is in line with returning inflation to below 3% by 2025, and that's important because it would support the move to lower official interest rates.
Great news. Wage theft is officially becoming a criminal offence. Unfortunately, I'm sure a lot of people have either personally experienced being underpaid or experienced wage theft at work, or they know someone who has. Wage theft and underpayments can take many forms, including failing to pay super, failing to pay breaks and overtime, not paying for trial or training periods, not paying for personal, annual, or other forms of paid leave entitlements, misclassifying workers as independent contractors, and not paying you for the right rate for acting up in a higher grade. Now, thanks to union members, wage theft is officially becoming a criminal offence on a Commonwealth level as of January 1, 2025. This means there will now be serious consequences for employers who underpay their workers. So if you have concerns that you're being underpaid, then reach out to your union for more info and help.
The minimum wage is not enough to live on in Australia. It's approximately $915 a week before tax. Agree?
I'm going to agree.
I'm going to disagree. You go first.
All right, $915. Let's break it down. We're accountants.
Yeah.
All right, it's me, and I've got a wife and a couple of kids. I'm going to live in a unit in Maryland. That's $500 a week. My kids go to public school. That's fine. I can't really drive a car, can I? Because it's too expensive. All I make is $920 a week.
Yeah.
I get $400 left. I'll go to the markets to buy my fruit. I buy very little meat because I can't afford too much meat. I can't have the internet, right? Because that's expensive. I'll catch a bus. That's fine. My kids get subsidised buses. Education's free. Doctors are free. You know what? I'm going to change it. You can live on the poverty. You can live on the poverty line, and yes, you can survive on $920 as a family.
For years, Australia has been branded as a high-wage country, but the truth is that was the past. Wages have barely grown in the last decade. In fact, when you adjust income for inflation and the explosion in living costs, many Australians are effectively earning less than they did years ago. A full-time worker can earn $800, $1,000, or even $1,300 a week and still not feel secure. Why? Because everything else has gone up. Rent, food, transport, bills, education, healthcare. So even though people are working the same hours or even more, their pay doesn't go as far.
I just finished my part-time job at Woolies, and you know what? Like, how crazy it is, bro. I barely did any work at all during the 8-9 hour shift, and I get more money in my bank account compared to like my full-time job as a tax accountant. Like, isn't it insane, bro? I think the system here is kind of like broken, bro. You go to like uni for a few years and then come out, you're stressed out, you work, your job is like not easy as well as a tax accountant, bro. And come on, man. I know it's tax accountant as an entry-level job, but comparing to like a part-time job that anybody can replace, you get more money in that kind of job, bro. And then like, why should I even be an accountant? I know like some people argue that we would get incremental increase later on, like the salary rise later on, but still it's an entry level. We still do like a million times more work with our brain, especially where we get more or less pay. Even later, the money increase is not that much as well.
If you're a woman in Australia, the odds are that yesterday you stopped getting paid for the rest of the year. Woo! JK, not woo. It's because of the gender pay gap, which means that women on average in Australia are getting paid 42 days less per year than men. And there's lots of reasons for it. The undervaluing of feminised industries, expectations on women to be the carers in their families, parental rights, and even just regular old sexism. And things are slowly getting better. Under the current government, it's expected to take 9 years to close the gender pay gap. However, if the Liberal National Party get in, that expectation goes up to 35 years. So maybe potentially consider having a little think about that. And also have a think about what you would do with 42 extra days of pay per year. I'd get a massage.
Yeah, this comment is absolutely right. Australia is bloody cooked. And then you've got the government saying productivity is down. No shit, productivity is down. If people are working harder than ever, and most people I know, they're working their full-time job, they've got a couple of side hustles, and they still can't afford a house, they still can't have a future for themselves or for their kids, no wonder productivity is down. You know, we have a serious problem when people who are university qualified, and I'm talking like engineers, doctors, lawyers, healthcare professionals, teachers, people who are in really high demand, these people can't afford to live where they are required to work. That is a serious issue. No wonder productivity is down. I think a lot of young Australians are in this position now where they're like, what's the point? I did everything that I was required to do, all these things that were promised to me for following the right path that was set for me and doing the right thing by society. It's actually not bringing me any happiness. It's not giving me the things I was promised. So what's the point? What am I doing? What are we doing? What's everyone doing? Because yeah, at this point, I'm working my ass off to rent my landlord's fuck-ass small mold-infested studio, and I don't know, like, is it bad to want a little bit more for my life? Is it bad to want to go travel and see the world and do what makes me happy? Like, I don't know.
So I recently moved to Sydney on my 3rd year working holiday visa. Bearing in mind, the last time I was in Australia was 2017, and that was when I did years 1 and 2. And now I'm back as a 35-year-old solo traveller. Previously, I came here with my partner, and things are a little bit different as a solo traveller. And everybody on TikTok is like, oh my God, Australia is so expensive. It's so hard to get a job. It's so hard to get a house. It's day 4 of me being here. I've secured a room for rent already, and I have had 3 Teams interviews and been put forward for 2 jobs. It's day 4. Like, literally, the people who are saying, oh my God, it's so expensive. Yeah, babe, it's expensive because you're living in Bondi Beach and working in a cafe. Like, what the fuck do you expect?
I'm gonna break the myth. No, it's not easy to move to Australia permanently. It is very hard to immigrate long term. For all the working holiday visas, students, or just people that want to come here and think it's going to be a piece of cake, that you're going to earn a lot of money, that work is going to be super easy to find, I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Especially if you don't have any skills in hospitality or like mechanics or construction or healthcare and stuff like that. You literally just have like academic experience or just like a master's degree in marketing or stuff like that, it's going to be nearly mission impossible to stay. You need to have skills that are on the shortage skills list to be able to stay. Otherwise, you might have to study and stuff like that, but then that's going to take you years and that's going to take a lot of money, because Australian employers need to prove that they can't find Australians to do the job that you're applying for. So that means you really need to be good at what you do, and mainly you need to have skills that they don't have, which is manual skills for the majority. I just want to be honest, like, because a lot of people think that they come here and it's going to be super easy to find a job and to stay, but it's really hard. Like, it's really hard, and most people spend about 20 to 100k to try and immigrate here long term, and easily up to 10 years. I'm not kidding. So yes, the Australian dream is a thing, but to be honest, it's much harder to have than what you think it is.
This is what the national minimum wage in Australia will be from July the 1st. It's a 3.75% increase in dark blue on the chart, and while it's only just above inflation, in light blue, it has been below it in previous years. The Fair Work Commission says it can't go any higher because labour productivity hasn't improved in 4 years, and we're all set to benefit from a number of things like tax cuts, a rise in the superannuation guarantee which employers must pay into your super fund, along with various cost of living budget measures like energy bill relief, all starting from July the 1st. It also believes this increase is in line with returning inflation to below 3% by 2025, and that's important because it would support the move to lower official interest rates.
Let's talk about underpaid work. We've seen massive growth in hospitality jobs, retail jobs, delivery and gig economy jobs, contract and casual roles, part-time positions disguised as flexible. These jobs often don't pay enough to create a stable life. People are juggling 2 jobs, sometimes 3, just to keep up. Students, especially international students, get hit the hardest. They are working long shifts for below award wages because they don't have the power to say no. It's exploitation, disguised under words like opportunity, flexible, gain experience. But in reality, it's simply cheap labor. You go to work, you get paid, the moment the money hits your account, it's already gone. Rent takes the biggest cut. Groceries cost more every month. Fuel and transport keep climbing. Even the electricity bill feels like a mortgage. People aren't living anymore, they're surviving, and that takes a toll. Mental health struggles, no savings, no stability, no future planning. Owning a home feels like a dream that belongs to another generation.
Treat us like how we deserve to be treated. Pay us what we deserve to be paid.
What's the first word you think of when you hear pay rise? When Peter Dutton heard about Australians getting a pay rise, he said it was disastrous. Bad news for him. Labor is pushing for a real pay rise yet again. We'll advocate for a pay rise for around 3 million low-paid workers across the country. Now, Peter Dutton will cut your pay and raise your taxes. Labor will always back workers because we want you to earn more and keep more of what you earn.
Authorised by Anthony Albanese, LP Canberra.
Alright, let's talk about something uncomfortable. Immigrants are overqualified but underpaid, but no one talks about why. I mean, you've got the degrees, you've got the global experience, but somehow most of us are still stuck in jobs below our skill level. Here's why no one tells you the truth. Number one, you don't know the hidden rules. Look, a lot of people don't know what opportunities are available to them. A lot of people don't even know what to do with that opportunity that is in front of them. Listen, it's not about what you can do, it's all about what you can prove in 30 seconds or less. Some of of you attend interviews and go all technical and say a lot of things, but you actually don't communicate value to them. So that reduces your chances. You're talking about your experience, but they're looking for outcome, impact, and confidence. The second one is you're being too humble. I want to scream this across everywhere. In many cultures, especially the Nigerian culture, humility equals respect. But in Western corporate spaces, if you don't talk about your wins, people assume you've got none. Silence gets you overlooked, not respected. Keep that in mind. And lastly, some of you are playing by the wrong strategy. Some of you lot focus on getting certifications, getting all of these things that won't help. Sometimes all you need is a coach, a structured learning, so you can move faster than you collecting all the courses from YouTube, Udemy, certification, without having a clear headway of where you're going. So if that's you and you're interested in working within the tech space and you live in Australia, definitely I want to work with you. Make sure you comment. So I'm going to leave you with this. You're not underqualified, you're just underexposed. And remember, nothing changes if you do nothing. I hope that helps.
The conversation about low wages in Australia isn't just about money, it's about dignity. It's about the feeling of working day after day and still not being able to breathe financially. It's about parents skipping meals so their children don't have to. It's about young people giving up on the idea of ever owning a home. It's about workers feeling like no matter how much effort they put in, they're always one step behind. And the hardest part, people are told that if they're struggling, it's their fault, that they're not working hard enough, not trying enough, not budgeting enough. When the truth is, the system is not designed to help them keep up anymore. We are watching a generation that works harder and gets less in return. A generation that grows up believing they'll progress, only to realize they're treading water just to stay in place. A generation that's tired of pretending everything is fine, tired of acting like the struggle is normal, because this isn't normal, and pretending it is only protects the ones benefiting from it. The cost of living is rising faster than wages. Companies are making record profits while workers are cutting back on essentials, and people are expected to stay quiet, accept it, and keep the machine running. But silence is how problems become permanent. Talking about this matters. Sharing these stories matters. Acknowledging that thousands of Australians are working full-time and still living paycheck to paycheck matters. Because change never begins with governments or corporations. It begins with awareness, with conversation, with the courage to say, this isn't right, this isn't fair. And it shouldn't be like this. If you're someone who's been feeling this pressure, this exhaustion, this constant financial tightrope, you're not alone. And the fact that you're still here, still working, still trying, says more about your strength than you realize. Take care of yourself. Look after your mental and emotional well-being. You deserve stability, you deserve rest, you deserve a life where work provides security, not stress. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to understand what's happening behind the numbers. See you in the next one.